Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're pushing on with our look at marketing fundamentals.
Yeah.
We're in part 2 of the 4 Ps from Unit 4, marketing,
That's right.
and our main focus.
Yeah.
Chapter 37, price.
A really crucial one.
Absolutely. This deep dive is designed especially for you IGCSE business students, maybe if you're an EL student too. We're aiming to help you really study and revise the core ideas in this unit.
Yeah. Nail down the essentials.
And just a quick note, you can always find extra resources over at www.igcse-business.weebly.com.
Good reminder.
So let's talk price. It sounds simple, just a number, right? But it's so much more. It's often a make or break thing in the marketing mix.
No, definitely. It massively impacts sales and honestly, whether a business even survives.
Right.
Getting that price right, it's one of the toughest calls a business has to make. It shapes what buyers are actually willing to shell out.
And the business's ability to make money, basically.
Exactly. It affects revenue, survival, everything. It's this tricky balance, between value, cost, and what the market's doing.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit. When we say price in marketing, what are we actually talking about? And why is it such a big piece of the puzzle?
Well, fundamentally, price is just another one of those 4 Ps. You've got product, price, place, promotion.
Right, the marketing mix.
Exactly. But its importance, it comes down to this. Get it wrong, and your customers just go somewhere else. Simple as that. It's the most direct link to sales volume and, ultimately to success or failure.
Makes total sense. And it's clearly not just plucking a number out of thin air, is it?
Yeah.
You mentioned market dynamics. There must be loads of factors influencing that final price tag.
Oh, absolutely. It's complex. There are several really key things pushing and pulling on pricing decisions all the time.
Like what?
Okay, first there's the marketing mix price itself, meaning the price point has to sort of fit with the other Ps.
So like a fancy product needs a fancy price.
Pretty much. You wouldn't slap a bargain basement price on a luxury watch. It just wouldn't feel right. It has to be consistent.
Okay, what else?
Then objectives. What's the business actually trying to achieve? Are they aiming for rapid growth, maybe trying to push rivals out?
So pricing can be a weapon.
Definitely. You could set a really low price specifically to make life difficult for competitors, for example, or a high price to project exclusivity.
Interesting. What other factors?
Well, taxes are a big, straightforward one. Think about things like tobacco or petrol, especially here in the UK. They're heavily taxed.
And that bumps the price way up for the consumer.
Exactly. The tax becomes a huge chunk of the final price. Then, very fundamentally, you've got costs. A business has to cover its costs.
Non-negotiable, really.
Right. So if the cost of materials or labor or anything goes up, guess what? Prices will almost certainly have to rise, too.
Okay. And competition.
Competition prices. Hugely important, especially if it's a crowded market with lots of similar products.
Like supermarkets or phone companies.
Perfect examples. In those cases, businesses often find they have very little freedom. They kind of have to price in line with the competition.
So less control.
Much less. And finally, maybe the most crucial, consumers' perceptions. What do people think it's worth?
Value for money.
Exactly that. People look for value. The price has to match their expectation of what they're getting. Although, sometimes, funnily enough, a higher price can actually increase the perceived value.
For luxury goods, maybe?
Yeah, precisely. It signals quality or status. So it's not always about being the cheapest, it's about perceived value.
Wow. Okay. So many moving parts. What's really interesting then is how businesses actually plan around all this. They don't just react, they use strategies, right?
Yes, absolutely. They use specific pricing strategies. These are, planned approaches to setting prices designed very carefully to meet those marketing aims we talked about.
Okay, let's dive into some common ones. How about we start with a classic, cost plus pricing? What's the thinking there?
Cost plus, sometimes called markup pricing. It's actually pretty straightforward. Basically, the business works out the total cost to produce one item.
Okay.
And then they just add a fixed percentage on top that's the markup. The idea is to guarantee a profit on every single item they sell.
Right. Could you give us an example? Say, I make bicycles.
Perfect. Okay. Let's say your total cost, materials, labor, factory costs, everything adds up to 60 pounds per bike.
Got it. 60 pounds.
Now, you decide you want a 25% markup. So you calculate 25% of 60 pounds.
Which is 50 pounds.
Exactly. You add that 15-pound profit margin to your 60-pound cost, and bingo, your selling price is 75 pounds.
That's 75,000. Okay, that does sound simple.
And that's its main advantage. It's really easy to calculate and apply. Plus, you know exactly how much profit you should be making on each sale. Gives you clear financial control.
Especially useful for maybe smaller businesses.
Very much so. They might not have resources for complex market research. This is predictable.
There must be downsides. What are the pitfalls?
Oh, big ones. The major pitfall is that it pretty much ignores everything happening outside the business.
Like demand or competitors.
Exactly.
Ah.
It ignores market conditions. So, back to your 75 bicycle bicycle. What if all your competitors are selling similar bikes for 65 bicycles?
Then the 75 dives looks expensive.
Right. Or what if customers just don't think your bike is worth 75 dives? You might have calculated a nice profit per bike, but if nobody buys it at that price...
You sell very few, and the overall profit is low or non-existent.
Precisely. It's a classic trap, knowing your costs perfectly, but maybe not understanding your market at all.
So given that risk, when does cost plus actually make sense? When would a business use it?
Well, as we said, it's very common for smaller businesses, just because it's simple and guarantees that if an item sells, it sells at a profit covering costs. It's efficient when you don't have a big marketing department.
Okay. Now, let's switch gears completely. What about penetration pricing? That sounds quite different.
Very different approach. Penetration pricing is when you launch a brand new product at a really low price.
Super low.
Yeah, often very low indeed. But crucially, usually only for a limited time, like an introductory offer.
And the goal?
The main goal is to penetrate the market quickly, get a foothold, build sales volume fast, and grab market share from competitors.
Get people to try it because it's cheap initially.
Exactly, establish it. Then the plan is often to raise the price later once you've got a customer base.
Ah, okay. That sounds quite clever. What are the main advantages then? Why do businesses go for this?
There are a couple of big plus points. First, as you said, it encourages trial. Consumers might get into the habit of buying it while it's cheap.
And hopefully stick with it when the price goes up.
That's the hope, yes.
Yeah.
Get them loyal. Second, it's really attractive to retailers. Big supermarkets or distributors are much more likely to stock a new product if it's got a really competitive launch price.
If it'll sell quickly off their shelves.
Exactly. Helps the manufacturer get widespread distribution and sell large quantities right from the get-go. Builds momentum.
Okay, but I can see a potential issue. What happens when that introductory price ends? People might not be happy.
You've hit the nail on the head. That's the main disadvantage. There's a real risk of backlash from consumers if the price suddenly jumps up.
They might feel a bit cheated.
Yeah. Or they might just switch to another brand that's now cheaper. You risk losing those customers you just gained. It has to be managed carefully.
So where does this strategy work best? What kind of products are we talking about?
It's particularly good for things called fast-moving consumer goods, or FMCGs, stuff that sells in high volumes in mass markets. Think about things in the supermarket aisles. Chocolate bars, fizzy drinks, shampoos, washing powder.
Everyday stuff.
Exactly. Products where getting lots of people to try it quickly, achieving high sales volume, and getting it stocked everywhere is really key to success.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've done cost plus, penetration. How about the opposite of penetration? Starting high. That's price skimming, right?
Yes, exactly. Price skimming, or just skimming. This is where you launch a new product at a very high initial price.
High price from day one. Why?
The idea is to target the early adopters. Those consumers who are really keen to have the latest thing, the newest tech, and they're willing to pay a premium for it.
The gadget enthusiasts, maybe?
Well, often, yes. Or people who want the prestige of having something new first. So you skim the maximum profit from this top layer of the market first.
And then what? Lower the price later.
Generally, yes. Once demand from that initial group starts to fade, or maybe when competitors start appearing, the business gradually lowers the price over time.
To attract more people who are maybe more price conscious.
Precisely. To broaden the market appeal.
Okay, so what are the big advantages of skilling?
Well, a major one is recouping your investment costs quickly, especially if it's an innovative product that cost a lot to develop, high R&D spend.
Get the money back fast from those willing to pay the most.
Exactly. Plus, it helps create an image. A high price can signal high quality, exclusivity, cutting-edge technology.
Like a new high-end smartphone or gaming console.
Perfect examples. People almost expect those to be expensive at launch.
But disadvantages. It sounds like you risk putting off a lot of potential buyers from the start.
That's the main one. The high price definitely deters a large chunk of the market initially, so your sales volume might be quite low at first.
Limits reach.
Yes. And another risk is that those high prices and visible profits can act like a magnet for competitors. They see the opportunity and might jump into the market faster than you expected.
Forcing you to lower your price sooner than planned.
Could happen. So you need to be fairly confident you have something unique for a while.
So when is skimming the right call? What situations suit it?
It works best for genuinely unique or innovative products. Things with patents, maybe, or significant technological advantages where there's little or no direct competition, at least when it first launches.
Groundbreaking stuff.
Yes, think new medical devices, maybe revolutionary software, that sort of thing. It's about capturing maximum value from the novelty when you have a clear lead.
Got it. Okay, one more main strategy area. Promotional pricing. Sounds like sales and discounts. What about things like loss leaders?
Yeah, promotional pricing covers a few tactics. It's basically about temporarily cutting prices. The goal might be to boost sales quickly, maybe attract customers into the store, or perhaps clear out old stock that isn't selling.
Makes sense. And loss leaders. What's that specific tactic?
A loss leader is quite interesting. It's when a business, usually a retailer, sells a popular product at a price that's actually below its cost.
They lose money on it intentionally. Why?
Yes, they make a loss on that specific item. The objective isn't profit on the loss leader itself. It's about drawing customers in.
Like bait.
Kind of. The hope is that once customers are in the store or on the website, lured by the cheap milk or bread or whatever the loss leader is.
And they'll buy other things too. Full price items.
Exactly. They'll fill their basket with other, more profitable goods while they're there, so the overall transaction is profitable for the business.
Ah, clever. So the advantages are pulling people in, basically.
Yes, the main benefits are increased foot traffic, or web traffic, potentially higher overall sales volume because people buy extra items, and it's also a good way to shift old inventory quickly.
Creates a bit of buzz too, maybe. Makes the store look competitive.
Definitely. It can generate excitement and build a reputation for good value.
But selling things at a loss sounds inherently risky. What are the downsides?
It is risky. The biggest danger is that customers might only buy the loss leader. They come in, grab the super cheap item, and leave without buying anything else.
Then the business just loses money.
Correct. Plus, there's a risk that customers get too used to these low prices and become reluctant to pay the normal price later. Or if you do it too often, it could potentially damage the brand's image, making it seem cheap or desperate.
Needs careful handling then. When would businesses typically use these promotional tactics or loss leaders?
You see promotional pricing all the time, especially from retailers. Think seasonal sales, Black Friday deals, back-to-school offers. And loss leaders are a classic supermarket tactic, selling staple items like milk, bread, or eggs very cheaply to get shoppers through the door regularly. It works best when the goal is purely to drive traffic, create excitement, or clear specific stock fast.
That paints a really clear picture of the main strategies. Now, if we think about the type of business, does size matter here? Do big companies price differently to small ones?
Oh, absolutely. There's often a significant difference. If you connect this to the bigger picture, large businesses usually have much more clout, more control over the prices they set.
Why is that?
Well, think about their scale. They buy materials in huge quantities, so their costs per unit are often lower. They might have strong brands, market dominance. All this gives them more power to dictate prices, or at least offer lower prices than smaller competitors can manage.
So they can set the benchmark almost.
Often, yes, they can be price leaders.
Which puts small businesses in a tough spot.
It does. Small businesses generally have much less control. They often find themselves having to kind of accept the pricing levels set by the bigger players in their market.
So they might be more reliant on things like cost-plus pricing?
Exactly. They might have to focus heavily on just ensuring they cover their costs and make some profit on each sale using something straightforward like cost plus, because they simply can't afford to get into a price war with a giant competitor. Their survival depends on that margin.
That's a really important distinction. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. What does this all mean for you listening? Let's try a quick quiz. Just to check your understanding of these key ideas. No pressure at all. Just listen and think about the answer.
Good idea.
Okay, question 1. The pricing strategy that involves setting a very high price initially, particularly when a new product is launched, is called what?
A, penetration pricing, B, cost plus pricing, C, promotional pricing, or D, skimming. Pause.
You got your answer. Okay, question 2. Which pricing strategy involves adding a specific markup percentage to the total costs of producing the product?
A, penetration pricing, B, cost plus pricing, C, promotional pricing, or D, skimming. Pause.
All right, question 3. Thinking about those influences we discussed, Which of the following factors might affect the price charged by a business?
A, competition. B, income elasticity of demand. C, the statement of comprehensive income. Or D, quotas. Pause.
And final one, question 4. Which of the following is an example of promotional pricing in action?
A, cost plus pricing. B, skimming. C, price leadership. Or D, loss leaders. Pause.
Okay, take a moment, think about your answers. Hopefully running through those helps solidify some of the concepts. Did our deep dive today help clear those up?
Hope so. They're really fundamental strategies to grasp.
Definitely. So just to quickly recap then, we've seen just how vital price is within that marketing mix. We looked at the factors that shape it, things like costs, what competitors are doing, taxes, business goals, and crucially, how customers perceive value. And we explored 4 key strategies in detail: cost plus, penetration, skimming, and promotional pricing, including that idea of loss leaders, each with its own pros, cons, and best uses.
And thinking about all this, it does raise a bit of a forward-looking question, doesn't it?
Oh, go on.
Well, as the world keeps getting more digital, more connected, with competition basically becoming global, you have to wonder how might these sort of traditional pricing strategies need to change, or what completely new factors might start influencing prices in the future. Things like dynamic pricing online, maybe.
That's a great point. AI-driven pricing, subscription models. The landscape is definitely evolving, something important for you all to think about as you continue your studies.
For sure.
Absolutely. A fascinating thought to end on. And please remember, everyone, for more resources, revision guides, and materials on this unit and others, head over to www.igcse-business.weebly.com.
Check it out.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the world of pricing.
Been a pleasure.
We'll catch you on the next episode of The Deep Dive.